You know what? Listen, I don't want to get behind these guys. We could do an invitation right there. We have one more word. I want to tell you something. These gentlemen love the Lord, and to hear men get up and speak about the Lord and how things ought to be and how things ought to exist is a model for the rest of you men who won't come on. If Jesus' account, this account that we see on the cross, if it were a bank account, and every human being that has lived, that is presently alive, and that will live, we all share the same bank. What Jesus done here in the finality of things was took his account, paid everybody in the bank's debt off, and left himself broke so that everybody else's debt could be paid. What you are watching on the cross, with every word preceding the one I'm about to talk about, is you are seeing everything in human history come to both a conclusion and a beginning. All of what could not happen up to and through Jesus would be given birth at his death. Everything was dying. Hope, complete hope, was dying for mankind. There was no remedy for his malady. His malady was sin, and there was no remedy until Jesus came. And when he was up on the cross and he said, I'm getting tired. They offered him, the crowd could tell he was getting tired. He started to say things like, Father, forgive them, or I thirst, or, Father, if it's your will, let this cup pass from me. Things were starting to end for him. But he was not getting weaker. He was getting stronger. Here's what was happening. Let me read it to you. I got some glasses too, Ricky. In the book of Luke, he says this in verse 44 in chapter 23. Now, it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. When you read this account in the book of John or Mark, you get this calendar in Roman terms, and you get it also in Jewish terms. If you look at the Roman terms, you would think it's a contradiction because 6 a.m. was not the same in Roman time as it was in the Jewish calendar. So this was really in the text that I'm reading. It was about from 12 noon till about 3 p.m., right in the middle of the day when the sun is the hottest. The scripture says that then the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. And when Jesus had cried out with a loud voice, he said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. I want to point out a couple of things to you in this passage. One is that in the middle of the day, the Lord caused darkness to cover the earth. This was not normal darkness. This was a supernatural cause and effect. God caused darkness on the face of the earth to come up on the earth suddenly, which drew everything created's attention to the cross. Everything. Even the elements of time and light and darkness was drawn to the cross because something was happening to the Son of God that could not be explained by human terms. Something other than what they've always felt and thought was going on. I want to show you something about this saying that you may not have ever seen before. Whenever they torture someone and put them to capital punishment on the cross, they did not usually die as quick as Jesus did. It usually took them a longer time to die. But an hour short of what happened to most folk, Jesus said, Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit. He robbed death of death. You better hear what I'm saying. He would not allow death to take him when death wanted to take him by its own time frame. Jesus said, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Since I'm through being thirsty, since I've asked forgiveness for these people, since all of this stuff is going on, the crowns, the thorn, all of those things have happened to me, I'm going to go on and die, but I'm going to die on my terms. So what he was saying, Father, I've had enough of this. Into thy hands I commend my spirit. In other words, take me now and hold my spirit, because I won't let death do it. I won't let death have me that way. I'm going to take the spirit of life that's in me and allow you to hold it. You hold it. Here's why. Because life and death, the keys to that belong to the one that was on the cross. You can't kill Jesus. The scripture teaches us he gave his life. And on the cross, he showed that. You're not taking me, death. I'm just going to simply let the Father hold me for a moment. And I'm going to let the flesh die, because it is not just my flesh that's dying, but it is dying for all flesh. So that the torment of sin over the human race is erased. Hide the earth in darkness. The shame of humanity was in the failure of the sun to shine. What God created for man's natural health, vitamin D. We need the sun not just to see things just with our eyes, but it's because of the light of heaven, the sun, S-U-N, that we can see anything in existence. But God took it. And he says, I'm not going to allow you with your eyes to see anything. But I'm going to show you something in the spirit that only you can see. And it was so powerful to the centurion that was there with him. He said, surely this man was the Son of God. There are people in this room who need to experience the relationship that Jesus is trying to offer you. Let me tell you something. Today is not about hooping and hollering and putting Jesus up and down on a cross 3 or 4 times in a message. But it is about the demonstration to you that you need the Redeemer that this young lady is about to sing about.